Hey everybody, Justin Worden, and you are watching What's New in Electronics. We are here day one of the IPC Apex EXPO in Anaheim, California, and we are back at it again. Mr. Tom Forsythe, how are you?
Good to see you, Justin.
Very good, very good. So, Tom, Kyzen, you guys are always putting out new products, and I think 2024 is the year of new products for you. So let's dive right into the chemistry. What's going on?
Absolutely. Well, as you know, our name comes from the Japanese concept of continuous improvement. And that's a good thing because in our industry, we're the cleaning people, and the world of contamination never sleeps. How many solder people are here at the show? It must be half a dozen, or if not a dozen. All of them are introducing new products that in some cases are hard to clean, some cases not. Well, we've got to do that testing. We've got to make sure that we can clean those. So that's what drives our innovation, the moving world of the contamination, the different solder materials, as well as the changing designs, lower standoffs. Tighter line spacing, that sort of thing. So this year we've introduced Aquinox A4618. It's a new water-based product for the general assembly cleaning. It's still our core Aquinox line is mostly for assembly cleaning. These days, most people are cleaning no cleans because those are the only modern soldering materials that exist. So great on most of the no cleans. Obviously, any RMAs that may be left from the old days, they do great. And a whole case of continuous improvement. A little bit wider operating window, a little bit better cleaning for some of the new materials that didn't exist back when the other products were invented. When you can clean a product that's invented with today's material, with a product that you invented 5 years ago, that just means you're lucky. Okay, because none of us are voyeurs of the future, right? So we're always trying to prove that we can clean those materials, introduce new products. That also helps us speak to new customers about new opportunities and that sort of thing. So great product that's getting some good legs out in the market.
Well, it's one of those things too. I mean, on the consumable side of things, generally it's a lower priced product when you compare to what everyone has to buy on the floor, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
And part of the presentation, dealing with the Kyzen, you talk about how long that product lasts.
That's right.
And they're not always taking that into consideration. So you're constantly educating people on concentration levels and shelf life and everything, because even though it may cost a few dollars a day, when you add it up by the end of the year, it costs a lot more money.
That's correct. And I guess the key to that is we work in conjunction with all the machine manufacturers because, of course, if their machines are not doing a great job on containment, well, then that turns into more cost for our users. So it's a case of working together, and that circles right back around to control. And then Kyzen, for several decades at this point, has been selling process control systems, both fully automatic and more monitoring analyst type systems, to keep track of that data real time. So if there's, because very often the machines are designed well, but there's been a malfunction. There's been a tinkerer that's gone in and tried to improve that machine. And for example, every now and then we'll find machines where there's a spray bar pointing into the isolation section. It's sort of like leaving a hole in your gas tank. And so we try to identify those things by having great, robust data tracking. You can identify, well, gee, all of a sudden, why did consumption go up on Tuesday? That's really weird. We can go in and document that and then analyze what's going on and help customers get to the root cause when they have an upset. And when, of course, most people don't have upsets very often. So in those cases, what are they doing? They're tracking and controlling, getting a great, knowing that they've got a very steady process that's meeting all their standards. They've got a qualified process that says I should do it for this long, at this much temperature, at this much concentration. And they have documentation that that's what they did. And that's really good for them. So having that data repository. And so this year we're also introducing our Analyst 2, which is an update to the Analyst system. And the core features there, along with some software improvements and whatnot, is the fact that we've really made it, we've made the equipment much more survivable, so to speak. And that, gee, if somebody obsoletes a monitor or a communication card, we have to start all over again. We've kind of made it machine equipment agnostic. And so that gives our customers a longer runtime because our customers run these products, these process control monitoring and control systems a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, they invest so much in getting that product qualified. So once it's qualified, they want it to last.
And they do. And by running it properly, knowing you're at the right concentration temperature, that's when you know that you're not going to get hours or days, you're going to get days and weeks, and in many cases, months. And that's one of the distinctive features of our technology is that we worry about, we want to do a great job on day one, right? You never get a better time to make a first impression than on day one. Well, but On Tuesday, when everybody leaves and the machine's running, is it still running well? What about a week from Tuesday? What about a month from Tuesday? Is it still running at that same concentration? Is it still running at that same temperature and still performing to the standards you require? That's a key standard of performance that Kyzen focuses on in our product development and that we track out in the field with customers. We'll often do sampling programs where we'll evaluate things to get a good read on bath life. And lo and behold, what we find is our customers are running those same set points months down the road, and sometimes that's not true for everybody.
Well, one thing I want to talk about, I mean, we've spent a few minutes talking about tracking and data, right?
Right.
But the other side, if you want to look at it from a different point of view, it's control.
Absolutely.
You want to control the process, especially in today's environment where the employee turnover rate is at an all-time high.
Well, and that's key. And of course, in the land of cleaning, there's really two very different challenges from a control perspective. On the batch side of things, the cleaning processes tend to be very stable. The drag out amounts are fairly limited. The process tends to change at a very slow pace. In any inline equipment, let's face it, we've got a system that's pumping a couple of hundred CFM in air knives. We've got an exhaust duct that's pulling that much and a pinch more that's going out of the machine. We're spraying and making a cloud in there from high to very high pressures, depending upon the design approach. You're 10 minutes later, you're at a spec. If you're not automatically controlling that, you are very hopeful individual. It's very difficult, which is where our process control systems, the PCS, that we've been selling for 25, almost 30 years at this point, those were invented because of those dynamics. That, this is just something that's very, very difficult to do on a manual basis because the systems, as they're designed to do a great job of cleaning, it's independent of machine manufacturer, it's not a poke at anybody. That challenge, that task is hard, and also keeping everything in balance is another difficult task. We've always been the process control guy. Machine guys have been happy enough doing the hard job that they already have. They weren't eager for a second hard job.
So with the PCS system, I'm assuming the Analyst 2 is now pairing up with that as well?
Well, they're kind of a siblings, in that the PCS is in fact an automated control system where it's monitoring. It actually takes over control of the water additions as well as the cleaning material additions. So we're monitoring that process. We're keeping it in just the right place. You look at those charts over days and weeks and months. That doesn't move. If you get that kind of chart from a cardiologist, your spouse is getting that chart. Okay, because you're already dead. Okay, in the cleaning machine, it's the opposite of that, right? On the analyst side, we're simply monitoring. We're monitoring, we're recording, but because on the batch side of things, the dynamics on the cleaning materials it changes at a much more gradual rate, it's not worth the expense to automate. We have from time to time, but we don't encourage people to because it's the value proposition's really not ideal. Whereas on the inlines, it's life itself.
So I think to sum this all up, you're going to spend the money on the chemistry. Let the chemistry guys handle the process control. Let them handle the data collection so you can sit back and make sure the machine's running properly.
Absolutely. That's key. It's been a key to our success now for a very long time.
Well, Tom, you guys are doing great. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful show.
Thank you very much.